Welcome to Motion Sports, the show. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's had a wonderful day. What a crazy weekend in sports we've had. It was a good NFL slate. I'll be honest with you, some really good games. I mean, we had a couple of games in overtime. The 49ers and Bengals, and I mean that came right down to it. Great game. Bengals blew that game, but surprising. But it was a great weekend of sports. I thought the Bucks Bills game. I mean, both those teams came back. The Bucks were commanding lead over the Buffalo Bills. Bills wound up coming back and taking the Bucks in overtime, and the Bucks took care of business. So tonight we got a good game. The Rams Cardinals. The Rams are suffering through a lot of COVID issues, though. If you ask me, I got the Cardinals and the under in this game, but who knows? But again, Rams, like the NFL as a whole, are going through their COVID issues. Speaking of COVID, I mean, it's running rampant now across all leagues between NHL and then also the Bulls. The Bulls just canceled 2 games with the Toronto Raptors and the Detroit Pistons, I believe, coming up. But, we got to get to a point to where, look, man, are we going to cancel every little thing based on this? I mean, who knows? But, all these games, is it the new norm? I mean, is COVID going to be with us for forever? And are we going to start canceling all these professional games because of COVID issues? So, especially when you have healthy athletes and things like that, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be called into question, whatever, man. But that's just how it's going to play out. I guess this is the new norm, that we're going to start seeing all these games canceled because of COVID. So, anyway, but as for the game tonight, I got Cards and Rams. Last night's game, I'm a Chicago Bear fan. Last night's game, if you were watching the first half, you were entertained. Bears actually took a 27-21 lead going into the half, and then Aaron Rodgers did Aaron Rodgers thing. They basically went back to their base offense and took the Bears to town, and Bears didn't have a chance thereafter. They lost 45-30. So, but again, a lot of great games on the NFL card this weekend, which leaves the question of this. It is chaos when it comes down to the conferences, especially the AFC. The AFC, you don't have like this dominant team like the Patriots in the past or whatever, and everybody's going to come through this home field advantage and everybody's playing for second. You've got the Patriots, the Tennessee Titans, and the Chiefs all sitting there at 9-4. The Chiefs actually, as of the betting line, are the favorites. I think they're like plus 340 to win the AFC. You remember when they were like 3-4 and everybody's freaking out and kind of leaving them for dead? Well, if you bet a future on them to win the AFC at that time, you done pretty good. You got really good odds. Now, they've won 6 straight since that time. Again, now they're sitting at 9-4, tied really with the Patriots and the Titans. And the Titans are going to be a very interesting team when it comes to the playoffs. The Titans are supposed to get back Derrick Henry. And I think the Titans are built for the playoffs. We've seen that time and time again. I mean, they are a team that can go anywhere and beat you. They're just a team I wouldn't want to mess with their defense, the way they can run the ball. And Ryan Tannehill can certainly manage games. I mean, I hate to call him the ultimate team manager, but that's what he is. But again, I would not want to face the Titans in the playoffs. The question is, who is going to get the bye? Comment, see tell me, who do you think is going to win the AFC? Do you put it past Bill Belichick and the rookie Mac Jones for winning the AFC? If he does that, by far, it was Bill Belichick's best ever coaching season. There's just no way around it. Okay, he doesn't have Tom Brady anymore. He's got Mac Jones, a rookie from Alabama, leading his team with honestly a bunch of no names on the team. Makeshift offensive line and defense, and absolutely is taking the AFC and leads the AFC right now. So, I mean, again, who's going to win it? I don't know. But, I mean, shortly thereafter, you got other teams that are just in this bunch. You've got the Ravens who've been – they're still 8-5. But you got to understand the Ravens have been decimated by injury. I mean, they're literally playing replacement players, okay? I mean, they are literally making the new movie, The Replacements, just to get by through the season. I think Lamar Jackson just actually skated him. I mean, he had an ankle injury last night. It's not as serious as people think, so he'll be okay. But, man, they have Calais Campbell's gone. I mean, all these like defensive starters in the backfield are gone. I mean, it's just insane what's going on in the Ravens team right now. But they're still 8-5. You got to give John Harbaugh some credit in terms of the coaching job. Right behind them is the Chargers, 8-5. Again, Ravens and Chargers. And then you have the Colts and Bills, which are 7-6. Now, the Bills, they're 0-3 in Florida. They lost to Miami. Then they lose to the Jaguars. And then they lose to the Bucs. I mean, they can't play, in the warm weather areas. So, guys, I don't say the Bills are pretty disappointing. That was my pick for the AFC winner to go to the Super Bowl, them and the Rams. I don't think it's panning out too well right now, but hey, I mean, I just thought that I was on the Bills Mafia train for the AFC. They're just not doing too well. I'll give kudos to them. Josh Allen is a beast, man. Josh Allen is a beast quarterback, but he can't do it all himself. And I mean, he's got to have defense. What the Patriots did to them last week was an absolute embarrassment. Running the ball every down except for 3 passing downs, and you get beat. I mean, we at home. So they're not looking too good. Hopefully, they'll get their act together and they could circle the wagons and do something here in the late half of the season. So on the bubble, and this is crazy. The whole AFC North teams are in the playoff hunt. If you look at the odds for the winner of the AFC North, they're all plus money. It's crazy. It's really up for grabs. And you've got the Browns and the Bengals that are in the playoff hunt, and you also have the Broncos in the playoff hunt, and they're all sitting at 7-6. The schedule that I think is going to be the most difficult in the AFC to finish strong is the Baltimore Ravens. They got to go to the Packers. They got Steelers. They have to still play. All this other. They have a terrible schedule here going out. I don't know how much room the Ravens have, especially after this last loss, to really do some damage. But I think it's going to come down to the Pats, Titans, and Chiefs. Who do I think is going to represent? I don't know. Honestly, I think it depends on who is going to win home field advantage. And honestly, I think it's going to be the Chiefs. If I was to put Mac Jones against a Patrick Mahomes, can you imagine that kind of AFC championship? To see the rookie versus a young, extraordinarily talented, maybe top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes versus Mac Jones and Bill Belichick. That's must-see TV for me. So, but I'd give the upper hand on the Chiefs. If you go to the NFC, it's not as crazy, but it is crazy. You've got the Cards obviously playing the Rams tonight, but then with the Cards you have the Packers and you have the Bucs, and they're all sitting there with, I think the Cards have 2 losses and the Bucs and Packers have 3 losses, but they're sitting pretty. They are sitting pretty to lead the NFC. I think if the Cards wind up winning tonight and beat the Rams, I think they have the upper hand, and I think they actually wind up winning the NFC. Kyler Murray is having an absolute, amazing season. He was hurt, I think, 3 games. If he wasn't hurt those 3 games and didn't sit out, I think he'd be in talks as an MVP for the league. But that the MVP, I think, is up for grabs. I really do. Honest to goodness, if you were to ask me who's going to be MVP, man, I'll be honest with you, man. I think Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys, not only is he the defensive player of the year, I think, but he could win rookie defensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, and possibly he is literally, if you got not watching what he's doing, you need to take a look at what Dallas is doing with this kid. He has, turned the league upside down in terms of his play. He's been unbelievable. And I'm a defensive guy. I love defense. And it's hard for a defensive player to win MVP. But at the end of the day, watch what this kid is doing. They did beat Washington at Washington. Washington did come back in that game. But it was 27, I think it was 27-8. And then Washington came back and got the score to 27-20. Actually had a chance to win. Taylor Heineke winds up getting out of that game. And the Washington football team does lose. So the Cowboys and the Rams are in the conversation as well when it comes to the playoffs. So you've got the Cards, Packers, Bucks, Cowboys, and Rams. Out of that, if I was to put my money down and say, hey, man, look, who are you going to put this season on? Who you think is going to come out of the NFC? I think you're going to have the Chiefs take on the Cardinals, And that would be a pretty amazing Super Bowl, to be honest with you. You've got Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray. I mean, that would be a lot of fun. So tonight, again, we have the Rams Cards. Again, we're suffering through some COVID issues, but guys, it's been a great scheduled weekend of football. Also, did you catch the Army Navy game, the pageantry? Navy does defeat Army, and this is the most unbelievable sports stat I think you could have in recent history. The teams are 16-0 on the under. Now, think about that a second. The teams are 16-0 on the under. They set the line at 35 for the over-under, and it's still finished under. It's unbelievable. Think of this. If you were to take a bet, let's say you put $100 down on the first game 16 games ago, and you kept on reinvesting, you're winning. So next year's 200, next year's 400, and so on and so forth. If you continued to bet the under, starting with $100 and reinvested all your winnings, you'd win $1.7 million right now on 16 games. I mean, that is insanity to me, but they just continue to hit the under. So, guys, tonight we'll be live about 7:30 tonight. Come see us. Come talk to us. Come see us. Like and subscribe the YouTube channel. Like the Facebook page. Check us out on Instagram at Motion Sports Net. Check us out. We're all over now. Y'all take care. I'm Greg Nozar. This is Motion Sports Show. I'm out. Take care.